What I'm going to do is talk just briefly about some collaborations that we have going on here at IUP as examples. And these are collaborations that I'm more familiar with, I've kind of been involved with. There are certainly lots of other ones. I just want to try to give you like a quick snapshot about a few of these. I want to try to give you enough information so you can get a feel for it, but we can't really get into it in detail. Kind of mix in some mention, some discussion of some maybe the standard challenges and standard issues that you have to think about when you develop collaborations. I don't think we have to go over the benefits of them. I think everybody probably gets the benefits. Obviously, if you have questions, we have to try to answer those. And these aren't presented in any particular order. I'm going to talk about 3 examples. There's a joint master's program that we have here involving employee labor relations and nursing and allied health. There's an information assurance minor, which is a collaboration between the Department of Criminology and the Department of Computer Science. And I also want to talk briefly about a public health program that we're just in the process of developing. Just very quickly to give you an overview of the Master of Science in Health Services Administration, which is the Employee Labor Relations and Nursing and Allied Health program. It's a 36-hour program. Basically, each department contributes about half of the credits, about 18 credits. The entrance point to the program comes through both departments. So you have healthcare professionals who are interested in administrative areas, and you have people who have more interest in employment labor relations who want to get into the healthcare administration area. They offer classes that students from both entry points take. The information assurance minor is a little unusual in that it's available as a minor to criminology majors, but the computer science majors can't take it as a minor. So they take the same courses as part of the computer science major, and then they minor in criminology. Again, it's about half the courses are offered by each department, but criminology has developed 2 courses that are very specifically designed for this program, which creates some challenges in terms of scheduling for the department. So let's take a couple minutes and talk about some of the key issues with these kinds of interdepartmental collaborations. By the way, the Master of Science in Health Services Administration degree involves 2 departments in the same college. The information assurance minor involves 2 departments from different colleges. The fundamental issue when you do these collaborations, I was chair of the Department of Criminology for 6 years, so I was responsible for scheduling. The fundamental issue becomes, how do you build this into your regular schedule while still servicing all of your majors, providing all of the liberal studies classes or whatever else that your responsibility is. Typically, one way to approach it, and again, this is probably more suited for people who are just stepping into the chair role for the first time, you probably want to look at what you have to do to service your own students first and make sure that those sections are covered. And if you don't think you have adequate resources to do that, you probably aren't in a position at that time to enter into a collaboration where you're going to commit forces to another department, unless you can find a way to make the adjustments. The other big thing is that you can't look at the resources you have today and say, yeah, they work for now, because you have to plan resources 3 to 4 years out, because you might be able to offer the one class you have to offer to first-year students, but next year you have first-year students and second-year students, and the following year you have first, second, and third-year students. So you have to make sure that the resources are going to be there as you progress through the program. And the ability to do that obviously varies depending on what a department's resource situation is. Another issue that often arises is you have this agreement, so you need to provide this class to fulfill the agreement. So you have to provide the class to fulfill your agreement with the minor. You want to make sure that you're able to provide it without, you don't want to get in a situation where you have to provide the class and there are only 5 people who need to take it. Typically, you want to try to build the class in so you can maximize the use of your resources, make sure that there are an adequate number of students to fill the class, especially if you have scarce resources. I don't think this is probably an amazing revelation, but one of the fundamental factors in making these collaborations work is that everybody has to talk to each other. Everybody has to keep the lines of communication open. Everybody has to be honest about what they can and can't do. You need to talk to people about what your department needs are, but also about their needs. Everybody has to look at their sequencing of courses. All those things have to be kind of integrated. And sometimes it's not that hard, and sometimes it's harder than it seems like it would be. Another pragmatic issue, especially in the current climate, is I would strongly suggest that the conversation occur up front about who gets head count, who gets FTEs, how that's going to be divided. That's a very important consideration when enrollment is life. So, and I would suggest that you have that discussion up front as opposed to waiting until you have students engaged and not knowing who's going to count what. Let me give you one more quick example, which is the new public health program that we're in the process of developing here at IUP. That's still in the somewhat earlier planning stages. This is a different kind of collaboration because right now there are 3 colleges involved and multiple departments in each college. So far, we have agreed that there will be a core of courses, but that core will involve multiple departments. So there's going to be collaboration and coordination across at least 3 colleges and probably 6 to 10 departments, depending on exactly how the core shakes out. That means that every one of those departments has to build into their resource plan adequate sections to serve the core while still serving their own majors, while still providing liberal studies sections, whatever their responsibilities are. And again, you can't plan what your resources are for just 1 year. You have to know, can I manage this 4 years down the road when the first group of freshmen are now seniors, but now I have freshmen, sophomores, and juniors in the pipeline. So you've got to plan for the maximum number of sections you'll need at the end of the program when you're developing. And it's really problematic at halfway to something to realize, geez, we don't have enough resources now to do this. And one of the decisions that you have to make is if I have to provide these sections for this collaborative program, and I have limited resources, what sections of my own can I afford not to offer? And again, that requires a lot of planning, a lot of careful planning, a lot of monitoring of how many students you have coming in each year, how many students you have progressing each year. And the more upfront planning you do, the better off you are in terms of success of the collaboration. The public health program also, right now, it looks like it will consist of a variety of tracks. And those things like oral public health administration, a data analytics component. That means that different departments will be carrying different amounts of the load. So now you have your commitment to the core classes, and now you may be heavily involved in the track. Which means you're really going to have to carefully monitor your resources as these things progress. And there's a bit of uncertainty because you're trying to predict how many students do you think will get in. And that's where doing your marketing kinds of research becomes extremely important. What do you expect in terms of enrollments? The other side of that is what can you manage? You need to make sure that you identify up front what kind of enrollment can we handle. And if we think the market is bigger than that and we want you to handle more, then you're going to have to try to figure out how to get some more resources. Good luck with that, by the way. I don't want to take up too much more time, but I will mention one other thing related to public health. This is going on right now, but it's a collaboration, but it's a little bit different. In the College of Health and Human Services, there's an institute, the Institute for Rural Health and Safety. And the Institute for Rural Health and Safety is involved in a collaboration with Citizens Ambulance, which is the local ambulance provider here. In fact, the institute is now housed at Citizens Ambulance Training Facility. So it's actually housed off campus. IUP rents the space from them. The collaboration fits into public health because Citizens Ambulance built a training facility to do EMS and paramedic training. Part of EMS and paramedic training, especially with new accreditation guidelines coming out, is that they will have to be able to convert their clock hours of training into academic credit. So that's where IEP comes in. So converting clock hours to academic credit can be a little bit tricky. So you have to have a mechanism in place to do that. You can either identify existing courses across multiple departments that they could come in as, or you can stand up new courses to receive those credits. But again, that's upfront work that you kind of have to do to make these collaborations work. Now, I'll stop it with that, and I can answer any questions, or we can wait till the end, however you want to do this.
When you talk about managing resources, I don't know if other people are in the same situation, but at Shippensburg, we're basically not allowed to fill any tenure track when somebody retires or use adjuncts. So now, as our resources are diminishing and we see no proposal or any talk about when those kinds of restrictions might be lifted, if I have somebody who's retiring who contributes to a minor in another program, and I've got no one, it looks like maybe in this kind of climate, doing any form of collaboration would be dangerous.
And again, I think that's kind of an individual level decision that the department will have to make. Obviously, departments have to prioritize what they do with the resources they do have. And I don't think any department's going to disagree that their main priority has to be servicing their own majors first, or fulfilling whatever responsibilities they have in liberal studies. One of the benefits to collaborating is that it can enhance a department that struggles enrollments. It can broaden your recruiting base for students, and if there is a commitment to allocating resources to growth areas, then collaboration would be a big benefit there.
I just wanted to add kind of another complexity to it. My department is doing a similar thing, but we're adding a major that's going to be housed in our department, a second major house in our own department that requires courses from all over. And another kind of thing that we have to build into the planning is that, and it kind of relates to the previous section, is that we don't have the experts yet to teach the course content. So not only do we have to hope that it goes okay, that we get them in time when the students move through the pipeline to do it, but they have to write their courses when they get here. And so it becomes, like, those first few years, we're looking ahead and seeing kind of an incredibly touch and go situation where we can't imagine how we're going to have the sitting and the teachers sitting there ready for the students when they move through, but somehow we're going to do it. We're kind of that far.
Yeah, well, sometimes necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
Well, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is folks get to listen to me twice. The good news is it's kind of writing around like ripping off a Band-Aid, and it's over. Exactly. I was asked to come and talk about collaboration across universities, across state system universities, and as well just make folks aware of the two centers that we have where there's multiple universities teaching programs. Just a few slides. Let me kind of start on what might be an odd tone. We've seen, in the outset chancellor, we've seen the pendulum swing one way where there was this perception that for any new program to be approved through the Board of Governors, there needed to be some collaboration aspect. Prior to that, there was very little collaboration, then the pendulum kind of swung the other direction. And it's kind of starting to become, find some equilibrium. And now our advice when universities are proposing new programs is that collaboration needs to be addressed. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to occur or else the board will approve the program. It just means that it has to be addressed in the template of the full program proposal, and there has to be a case made. Like I said earlier, part of the academic program review process for new programs is ensuring that the case is made on all aspects. And just like part of the curriculum we talked about earlier, collaboration is in there as well. And you know, honestly, I think that it's not a shock to many of the folks in this room is that our current infrastructure in the state system really doesn't promote a culture of collaboration. And there are two things that I just kind of wanted to quickly point out that's being done to kind of change that. One is, and I'm not part of this committee, so I don't have any details on the committee, but there is a committee being formed with statewide AppScuff to help form a committee to make collaboration easier. And included in your folder is a spreadsheet that was given to statewide AppScuff on all of the programs, kind of an inventory of collaborations that are currently occurring across the state system. So Leanne was kind enough to include that in your packet as well. The other initiative that's going on is Dr. Denny Matthews. He's from Shippensburg University. I believe he is Associate Vice President at SHIP. He is on loan from Shippensburg for 3 days a week to the Office of the Chancellor in the role of Strategic Information Technology Lead to identify the best approach for a technological solution to help create and change the culture and create an environment where collaboration is a little bit easier. That technological solution can really be separated into two different areas. One is the faculty and student experience. You can have all the other is the back-end process. You can have the back-end processes squared away. Randy said earlier, who gets the enrollments, how does the financial aid work, how does the student register for courses. You can do all of that, but until you have that faculty and student experience for collaboration, easy and seamless, it's not going to be very productive. So that's one area that probably should come first in any type of an environment, technological environment that's created, is to make sure that group of faculty and students, some of the back-end stuff can be done manually. A lot of it is being done manually right now on some of the collaborative programs that's on that spreadsheet. And that can continue, but I think the first area of faculty and student experience needs to be addressed before moving forward. When any new program, as I said earlier, the Office of the Chancellor is there for new programs to provide guidance, to provide coaching on all aspects of new program proposals. And one of the aspects that we talk about are there opportunities for collaboration. I probably get 3 or 4 emails or phone calls a week asking, and I even got 2 here this morning, are there any other state system universities doing X, doing Y? We have, it's not part of this presentation, but I'd be happy to talk to folks either through a webinar or come on campus. It's part of the presentation that I mentioned that Kathleen Howley and myself we've done to a couple of university campuses, chairs, deans, etc. We have an academic program inventory that lists all of the majors, minors, concentration, certificate programs, whether they are active, whether they are in moratorium, whether they've been discontinued in the state system's history. Part of the process that we do in the Office of Chancellor internally that impacts collaboration when a university is proposing a new program is we produce a report. we get a letter of intent. It's typically the first part of the process. A university is proposing a new program. There are two things that we do. One is we take a look at the academic program inventory, which everybody has access to. It's a database, there's an interface. Like I said, I'm not showing that today, but I'd be happy to talk to folks offline or have a webinar for groups of people or for individuals on that. But the first thing we do is go to that academic program inventory and run searches, keyword searches, searches on zip codes to see what's out there, what's similar. And then we also combine that with the enrollments. That's another, it's not in a database, but we have spreadsheets out there that everybody else has access to. Every program, degree program within the state system with, I believe there's like 5 years worth of, currently our spreadsheet, it has 5 years worth of enrollments for this program. That's out on a website for folks to take a look at as well. So what we do internally is we create a report that lists all of the programs that are similar, as well as the enrollments for some of those programs. And it's something that we've started to share with universities, either at the letter of intent stage or the full program proposal stage, and say, here's what we found across the state system. Explore areas of collaboration. If it doesn't make sense, that's fine. You need to make your case as to why it doesn't make sense. But in some cases, it may make sense and something that hasn't been thought of. We still get them. We still get proposals that come in that area of collaborations where it says, we got one actually, we talked to the university this week, where on their full program proposal, they stated there are no other state system universities that offer the same program or similar program. And we talked to the university this week and said, here are 3 other universities that offer, 2 universities offer the same program, one offers a similar program. That's diminishing somewhat as people become a little more educated about the academic inventory, but it is something that the Office of the Chancellor can help with that. The objective from our perspective is that the programs should complement each other and not compete. An example of that is Clarion took a program, I think it was April, to the board. It was a criminal justice program and an undergraduate criminal justice program, and they had tried for several years to have a criminal justice program approved by the board. And it hadn't moved very far, because I think it would have been our 12th or 13th criminal justice program within the state system. So we sat down with them and we said, what are you trying to do? What's the objective of this program? Because having a 12th or 13th criminal justice program within the state system that competes with other state system universities is not going to be looked on very favorably from the board. And in those discussions, we had found out that Clarion really was looking at a 60-credit degree completion program, fully online, that satisfied the needs of a specific region, a specific industry within that region. And we said, well, that's different. You didn't say that in your proposal anywhere. So we restructured that. We worked with them to restructure that proposal and took that to the board. I think it was this past April, and the board was very receptive to it. They liked the program, and it was approved at the board. But it wasn't looked at as something that would compete with another state system university because of its focus. So it's still a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice Administration, so it looks like many of your other programs, but it is different. And that's, the point is that that's okay. And collaboration is not necessarily required. A good example that I was asked to kind of to take a look at, explain a little bit, is the joint DSW in leadership and education between Millersville and Kutztown that was approved, I believe in January is when this program was approved. It was recently approved, I do know that. And it's slated to begin students enrolling this fall. And it's a joint degree, so the student gets on a diploma with universities. This isn't the first one that's done that. I believe first one, I might be corrected, but I believe the first one was Clarion and Edinburgh's Master of Science in Nursing, the MSN program, was the first one to do that. But the DSW in Leadership and Education is a joint program from the diplomas, has both universities listed on it. And it takes advantage of the current curriculum and community resources that both universities offer. So both universities offer either at the undergraduate level or the master's level programs that leverage, and what this new program does is leverage the faculty and the community resources. Millersville had there, I just listed two for each university, but there's a couple other areas of resources that were leveraged. There's two for Millersville and two for Kutztown that were leveraged for this program. It also expands the region that for this program. So traditionally, you had Kutztown that was recruiting students and focusing on the Reading and Allentown area. You have maybe a little bit of overlap with Harrisburg, with Millersville, but you have Millersville really focusing on Harrisburg, Lancaster, York area. With this program, just focusing on one of those two areas might not have been successful had one of these universities wanted to try to bring this program forward on their own. They might have found out that these areas of focus may not have been able to sustain that program long term. So by combining and doing a joint program, they now have a need and demand, a sustainable need and demand for this program. It leverages resources that affords the program the ability to incorporate some innovative technology, and with the faculty working together that they might not have otherwise been able to do. And the other thing that last night I was kind of looking through the program proposal. I printed it off and brought it with me. It was looking through this to refresh my memory. It's been a while since I read this. This is another thing I wanted to mention. This is every new program that comes forward to the board has a full program proposal that's staged as goes through. These are not secret documents, so if somebody wants to take a look at, and I get this inquiry multiple times, if somebody wants to take a look at a program that, maybe it's similar, we want to see how Kutztown and Millersville structured their proposal, give me a call. These are not up on a website for folks to download, but probably several times a month we email a proposal that has successfully gone to the board. We'll email that out to a university that is looking at starting a new program. One of the programs that I failed to mention this morning was, for innovative curriculum, was Millersville's Bachelor of Arts in Multidisciplinary Studies. That program is actually up on the same website where you can look at the academic program inventory and look. There's about 7 or 8 programs, full proposals. The DSW, I don't believe, is up there, but those undergraduate multidisciplinary studies program is up there, and that's one where we've received a lot of inquiries lately as to how are they doing that. We're thinking about doing that and have read through their proposal. So those proposals are available for departments, chairs, deans, looking at starting a new program. The particular program, the DSW, has a blended delivery mode. So it's taught face-to-face and online. There's an online component. The face component consists of 3 weekend semesters, and I believe it's Friday like late afternoon, and I believe it goes till Sunday. It's a very intensive session, and very purposefully those sessions on a semester basis alternates between Kutztown and Millersville, so that the students in the program start to develop a professional identification with both universities, so that when they do graduate, they feel a very strong connection with both universities. Each university, there's a core curriculum of 9 courses. Each university teaches 4 of those core courses, and then the 9th one, the dissertation seminar course, is co-taught. And both share responsibilities for providing electives within the program. They both supervise internships and any other cooperative education experiences, and they both co-supervise individual dissertations. Each, and this is fairly common for most graduate programs, the program directors or faculty, now that the program is past the new program stage, has been approved, the program directors are solely responsible for the ongoing coordination between the 2 universities. So they're the main points of contact that ensure that the collaboration piece of the program takes place and continues. They also have in the new program a template. If you haven't seen it, it's on the website. It's in all of the proposals. If you've seen one of those, there's an assessment section. And this one is a little bit innovative, and because of the joint nature of this, but how they structured it. So they have faculty, students, and a community-based advisory committee that evaluates this program annually. And there's a feedback loop that they've created to assess student learning outcomes. Are the students learning, the student experiences, and freedom of perception? And what I mean by that is this program was designed to meet a specific geographic area and a specific industry. And both Millersville and Kutztown have strong relationships with the industries they're serving. So they work to ensure that the graduates of this program, will ensure this not the graduates yet, are meeting the needs. So they're talking to the industry folks saying, are the graduates prepared for what you are, what you've expected? And that feedback provides recommendations for any curricular change for that. And it's one of the culture aspect, I do believe, and I see more of that. I spoke earlier about the environment for collaboration is not where it should be across the state system, and there are efforts to increase that. But what we've seen is that for departments that do collaborations like this, there are a strong sense of that culture is very much different than where the current environment is. They want to collaborate. There's that sense of refreshing the curriculum and having that continuous improvement as part of that. The other area that I was asked to talk a little bit about, and I think I only have just one slide for this, are the programs beyond the campus. So the Office of the Chancellor administers 2 regional centers, the Dixie University Center in Harrisburg, and there are, I believe there's 9 universities total that are 11 universities at the Dixie University Center that offer programs. There are 5 state system universities and 6 private universities. There are 10 undergraduate programs, 15 graduate programs, and 11 certificate programs that are offered at the Dixie University Center. And the Office of the Chancellor maintains those facilities, does all of the operational aspects of that, the technology infrastructure, etc. Some of the programs are offered through distance ed, either through video conferencing, where the students come to the Dixon Center and the students are remote. Lockhaven has a physician assistance program. We even turned one of our computer labs that was underutilized into a cadaver lab. And so there's a lab on campus with a cadaver that it's outfitted with cameras in the ceiling that looks down, and faculty member can be at Lockhaven, students are at the Dixon Center, and while they're working, the faculty is watching them and providing that feedback. So that's what's happening in the Dixon Center. And then also the Center City, Philadelphia location, which opened in the spring of 2013, so it's not quite as mature as the Dixon Center. And that's solely just for the state system universities. It's right at, I believe, 30th and Market is the location with Philly. And there are students that can take the subway system or Amtrak in and don't even have to go outside. They can go right from the subway station right up into the building without even going outside. It's a very nice facility. If you're ever down in Philadelphia, you have the opportunity to go look at it. There are 4 of our universities currently teaching there. The 5th one, Bloomsburg, I believe, is starting a program this fall for that. And both of these centers utilize an advisory board to gather feedback. In Philadelphia, they meet regularly with the Chamber of Commerce, Philadelphia Area Community College, to ensure that the needs of the Philadelphia area are being met. And there's a long-standing committee, an advisory board that works with the Dixon University Center to ensure that the Dixon University Center can meet the needs of the greater Harrisburg area. Any questions about either of those 2 topics? Yes.
Have many universities, system universities, engaged in this kind of cooperation with non-system universities or articulation agreements?
A good question, and I'm sorry I don't have any copies of this. I didn't send it to Lynn in time to make copies, but all 14 have articulation agreements with our community colleges. And if anybody wants to look at this, I can leave this here for us to take a look at it. But then beyond what's standard across our 14 universities, with the articulation agreements, there are, I think, just about, 13 universities have separate agreements that go beyond the articulation agreements, which is, I believe it's 13. I was looking through this list. And some of these lists are fairly substantial on how deep they go into articulation with some of the community colleges in their region. Yes?
But you're often looking at the programs beyond the university campus. There's one in the middle of the state, one in the eastern part of the state. Has the office looked at the western part of the state border? Do you have any locations?
There was discussions about a year ago about the Pittsburgh area. I haven't heard any discussions recently, the past 8 or 9 months about that. I don't know. I haven't heard that we're not going to be moving forward with at least exploring that, but I haven't really heard anything on that, on opening one in the kind of the greater Pittsburgh area under these other months. Yes. Any other questions? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Prashant Bharadwaj, like Gidan introduced me. I'm the Dean's Associate in the Everly College of Business and Information Technology. And before that, I was a department chair in the Department of Management for the last 8 years before I became the Dean's Associate. My job today is to introduce you to some of the things, exciting things that we have done in terms of international collaborations. And I really don't have the time to explain all the details of the programs, but if anyone is interested later, I'll be happy to provide my email and we can discuss. We have very consciously created a global career path for our students. Our students, you can't see all the names of the companies that are listed on the left-hand side. Neither can you see all the universities that we have collaborated with. But I'll give you a little more details about some of them. But we have 22 different partnerships with universities around the world. And our students are working in hundreds of different companies throughout the 6 continents. So I'll give you some details of that. And we have done this very consciously. Even on campus, we have very diverse faculty body and student body. Out of the 60 faculty members approximately that we have in the College of Business, about 26 or 27 are born outside of the United States. So they bring a lot of diversity and connections to different universities around the world. So I'll talk a little bit on the specific 5 comprehensive partnerships that we have. Out of the 22, we call these 5 as our main partners. The number 1 is in Bangalore, India, with a university called PES, which is called People's Education Society. We have been in India since 2005. And I always like to say in Everly College that IUP is a bigger household name in Bangalore than it is in Pennsylvania. Because our partners have put in hundreds of thousands of dollars in promotion, and we have a very vibrant program there. There are 4 different things that we are doing there. One is an MBA, which is right in Bangalore, where our faculty, full-time tenured faculty, go to Bangalore, teach the classes in India, and come back. And I can explain, I can take a lot of time to explain how it works, but it has been very creative. Every subject in the MBA core program is taught in 1 month by 2 different faculty who will spend just 2 weeks in Bangalore and teach 50% of their course. So if I teach half of the first subject, my colleague Ramesh Soni, who is sitting here, who goes back after me, when I take care of his classes here, he takes care of my classes when I am gone. So like that, we do that for 14 months. Each month, a core class is taught in Bangalore. And after that, the students have the option of coming to the US for their specializations and then stay on if they want. So today, we have graduated 650 plus students in this program in the last 10 years. And about 150 to 200 still live in the United States. Many of them have actually obtained their green card and have wonderful jobs, families, and so on, because our graduates are now 9 years old. In terms of their alumni status. And about 400 are still living in India, and about 50 to 100 are spread around the world. The head of KPMG in Southern Africa is one of our students. We have a student working in Australia, several students in the Middle East, several in Europe, a couple of them in Brazil. So our diaspora is really spread across the 6 continents today. So that is the MBA program. The second one is the undergrad pathway program, which we are starting this year, where the students spend 2.5 years. 75 credits they do in our partner university, and the last 45 credits they come to IUP campus. We started another program this semester, which is a summer non-certificate program. I did not imagine, even after being in India for 10 years, that we had a market for such a program, where the students are coming only for 4 to 5 weeks. And where our dorms are almost vacant at this time, we have put a wonderful set of certificate programs for them. We are taking them to half a dozen good companies here, from Bayer to Kennametal to Philips to Walmart Distribution Center. And then it's July 4th, we take them to Pittsburgh, we take them to Niagara Falls, Washington, D.C., and the students are very excited. We are having 45 students in the first year of this program who are arriving in June. And we hope to expand that further to other countries in the world, making it a real leadership academy in the summer right here in Everly. The last one is Discover India. The flow of students is not just one way from India to here. We have had about 150 students who have gone from the US, from Everly College and IUP to India, and have spent anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks all the way up to 6 months. We have had a couple of students who have done an internship in India. Many of them have taken classes in India, but majority have come with us for 15 days, what we call as a Discover India program. We start from Taj Mahal. We do a lot of things in North India, the Golden Triangle as it is known as, the historic and cultural part. Then they come down to South India, to Bangalore, which is the technology and the manufacturing sort of capital there. And then we take them to companies there. We create a learning environment within the classroom also. We really compress a lot of stuff in 15 days. And many of our students say that this is the best experience they've had in their college. So these are the 4 things we do in India. In Palestinian territory, with Ramallah and Jenin. So if some of you are familiar, it's in the West Bank. It's about 50 miles from Tel Aviv. But in the Palestinian part, we have a partner, Arab American University of Jenin. We started the program just a year and a half back. And that has been very well received in that area. We have 50 students who are going to graduate in July or August. And then we have 50 more students who are enrolled in the second cohort now. And we have had some issues, like many of you would imagine, being in that region, but they have been amazing partners. Once we enter that part of the country, you don't feel any problems there. We have had more than 18 faculty members who have traveled to Palestine and have taught there in the last year and a half. And to India, I didn't mention, we have had 39 faculty members, full-time tenure-track faculty members who have taught there. And that is an executive MBA program, and they are not interested in coming here to the US. They're just getting a general MBA degree right in Palestine. The third program is in China, which is with one of the top universities in China, in Chengdu, called the Southwest University of Finance and Economics, which is in southwestern China. And there we have the standard 2+2 or 3+1 program, where the students do the first 2 years or 3 years in school fee, and the last 2 are the 1 year they do in IUP, and they get the degree. And Dr. Raj Garg, who runs this program, was a Fulbright scholar in China, and he got interested in working with the university there, and because of that we have been able to get more than 100 students pretty much every year. And as you know, throughout the country we are getting tens of thousands of Chinese students, and we have had a fair share of the students here in IUP too. And the last 2 ones are in heart of Europe, in Germany and France. Here we have at least a dozen faculty members who have visited Duisburg and France and taught there short term, and many of their faculty have come and taught here. We have several students who have studied in both these places, and we also have a Euro Symposium where we take students to Germany and France. In fact, right now, one of our faculty members is actually teaching for a week in Duisburg. I think I gave you all of this data, IUP in India since 2005. I think I covered all of these things. And we have had great success with visa, 99% visa success rate coming from India to our college program. And the main reason for that is every senator in Pennsylvania has been supportive of this program. Right from the days of Santorum, to Specter, to everyone has now to Senator Toomey, they have been highly supportive, and they have written individual letters on students' behalf, supporting this program and supporting their visa application. That's the reason we have had such great success. And I'll show you some pictures. These are the last group of students who graduated from our program, the 9th cohort, right in front of our building. There were 86 students in this last cohort. I also want to tell you, the very first year, when we said that US faculty are actually going to come to India and teach, you'll be able to come to the US and study here, and even have OPT, which some of you may be familiar, the optional practical training. A lot of people in India said this is a fake university. It is not, we are saying Indiana University, Pennsylvania, or confusing name, which is in Pennsylvania and so on. So a lot of people did not really believe us. But when we delivered on every promise that we made, next year we went from 20 to 96 students. And we haven't looked back since then. And a lot of wonderful things happen on campus. We have something called India Day. Not only our students. Last year, on stage, there were 20 students who did not belong to India, who worked with our students in the cultural program. And there's so many other things that I don't have time to share. Just showing this picture, that these students, when they come here, many of them stay for 1 semester and go back to India, because they are part of family businesses and so on. They don't have, an Indian economy is doing well, as most of you know. They're getting good jobs in India, unlike when I came here 25, 27 years back. So these students are interested in going back. And I really make sure that they understand that there is a lot of commonality, just like Obama and Narendra Modi have been talking about, that we are national partners, India and the US. And I make sure that they understand the US history, the US democratic system. We have a very comprehensive tour of Washington, D.C., where they get to understand how the government works and the history of the United States. And vice versa. This is the American students in India, in front of the Taj Mahal. We do the same thing, that they understand the culture, the history, and the political and economic environment in India. There's some examples. We really mix business and culture. Those are the two American students who are in Indian attire. And on this side, you will see Infosys, which is one of the top IT companies in India. They visit that. They visit Coca-Cola plant. They visit Toyota manufacturing plant. They visit Bosch. So a German, a Japanese, an American, and an Indian company. And imagine how wonderful it is for them to compare and contrast the management environment in each one of these companies. And like I said, we go to Europe, we take our students. This is in front of Deutsche Bank in Düsseldorf in Germany. And the top economist in Deutsche Bank comes and talks to our students. Ramallah, I talked to you already about it, AAUJ. It's a beautiful campus in the middle of nowhere. And whenever our faculty go there for 2 weeks, they can really complete a research article, because they're teaching only 2.5 hours a day. There's nothing else to do. It's a beautiful, serene environment. And these are some of, I can't put all the pictures there, it is beautiful there, out there. And they stay right across the campus in Genève. And that's a view from our apartments there, and you can see behind the nice campus. And I just put some exciting things. Last year when I was there, I go to India 5 times a week and at least once to Palestinian territory, and I got to see the Pope because he was in Palestine. And the Consul General, the person on that side is the Consul General, the US Consul General from Washington in Jerusalem. He was highly appreciative of what we are doing, because there is not even a single McDonald's in West Bank. There's hardly any American presence there. There is a Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, but nothing else. And they are highly appreciative that a US university is doing there. We don't care about the politics there, we don't care about anything, but we think we are doing a great job by imparting a business education there, which many of those students are not getting an opportunity to. What are some of the reasons? There are hundreds of reasons. Anybody sitting here who is from IUP is part of the reason for this program to succeed. And like I say, all the planets are lined up for us, right from the provost's office. Everybody is involved in this program. Without whose support, we cannot make this program work. The dean, the assistant dean in the college, faculty have to repeatedly go, because we cannot hire other faculty who are not tenure track to run this program. We cannot assure quality. And that's one of the main reasons this program is working. And every administrative part of this college, of this university, has been involved. So the other thing is excellent partners with local reputation. PES is very well known. They are the #1 engineering school in all of Karnataka state. And they have their own business program. And same thing with AAUJ. AAUJ has more than 100 American trained faculty on their campus. SWOOFY is one of the top 10 finance and economic schools. So same thing, Lewisburg, Nancy, all of these. Delivering what we promised, that is key. We have done that in all these programs. And very innovative schedule, like I already described briefly. The delivery of the program, like my dean says, planning is only 10% of the whole thing. It is execution, is the 90%. And we have really executed in all of these places. And we have used technology. Nothing is taught online in these programs. Everything is face-to-face. But we have really utilized technology to supplement a lot of things. And the key is a win-win-win model. And I say 3 wins there: students, faculty, and the universities. All the 3 have benefited. And that is, I've actually paraphrased what the Middle States visitor in 2005 wanted to visit Bangalore to see what we do there and if we really have the right facilities. And she was the one who said something similar to that, that this is a real win-win-win model that I have seen in my career. So thank you for your attention, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Everybody's hungry? I have to catch a flight also, I'm leaving for India anyway. If somebody is interested to know more about this, my email ID, I think I should have put it there, it's actually I have to type it there. Oh yeah, I didn't show you this. We want to, since IUP is confusing to some people, our moniker for IUP is International University of Pennsylvania. Those are my initials, pnb@iup.edu. No questions?